Hi, I'm Doug Keating, and this is All the Way Leadership, a company designed with one purpose in mind, that is to help make you a better leader. Today, I'm going to share a third practical tip for your next video conference call to help make it a success. Have a clear purpose and agenda. Let's go. The COVID crisis continues, with millions of Americans still stuck working from home, spending countless hours on video conference calls. Many leaders, including myself, wonder, how do I get better at video conference calls? The last thing any of us want to do is look stupid in front of others. We can ill afford a meeting full of awkward moments. I already shared the most practical tip I can give you on how to be better live on camera, which is turn on your camera as much as possible. Last month, I did my best to try to convince you that the mute button is your friend. Now I'm going to share a third practical tip, which is have a clear purpose and agenda for your call. It will help others stay engaged and avoid being easily distracted. Participants will notice you thought about the purpose and flow of the call beforehand. Let's start from the beginning. Kick off your call by explaining the purpose to everyone. Never, ever, 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 ever host a meeting that has no purpose. Be a strong leader who begins the call by explaining the purpose clearly and succinctly. Everyone on the call will appreciate giving them a clue about what will happen during the meeting. This tactic is particularly appropriate for one-off video discussions. If the participants do not meet on a regular basis, it's your job as the leader to explain why the meeting was scheduled and what you hope to accomplish during the call. No need to spend 10 minutes explaining the purpose. A simple explanation will do. For example, I recently hosted a call between my company and a new company that we did not know well. I kicked off by saying, let's start with introductions. We'll go first and then you. The purpose of today's call is so that each of us can learn what the other's doing to see if there's a possibility for us to go to market together. If you don't do this, participants will drift if there's no clear purpose or agenda. Think about the last time you participated in a video call that did not have a clear purpose and agenda. At best, you probably spent the first part of the call trying to figure out, what's this thing about? You were asking yourself a series of questions like, do I need to pay attention during the call? Or can I multitask? Ooh, time for me to play words with friends while this call goes on. Will I need to talk during the call? When will it be over? My goodness, what time is it? If these questions are in your mind, you can bet that others are thinking something similar. Worst case, participants will get bored. Next thing you know, everyone is zoned out and nothing gets accomplished. Oh, sorry, I zoned out there for a while. Let's get truly tactical. I recommend you send out the purpose and agenda before the call if you can. It does not have to be complicated. Providing this information in advance helps participants decide if they should attend. Many people are super busy these days, juggling multiple calendar invites on a regular basis. They may need to skip your meeting if something higher priority conflicts with it. Give them enough preview material to make an informed decision. A best practice is to include the agenda in the calendar invite. Another technique is to attach a Word document or PowerPoint slide to the invite. Yes, you heard that right, PowerPoint slides. Send out the slides before the meeting. Some of you are shaking your head right now, so let's talk about using slides for meetings. Many people hate PowerPoint. It's the bane of their existence. I understand their disdain for slides. With over 30 years of experience, I've created thousands of slides and probably seen over 1 million of them. Some companies and organizations won't even allow employees to use slides. Not me. I'm a fan. PowerPoint is a useful tool for meetings. I'm not saying that because I work for Microsoft. Rather, I truly believe it. Slides can help make many meetings more productive. If you put in the effort when pulling together the content for the meeting, then the group will benefit. If you throw something together last minute willy-nilly, then everyone's going to suffer from a common disease known as death by PowerPoint. Perhaps I opened up a can of worms by mentioning slides. My main recommendation when it comes to slides is spend the appropriate amount of time to create compelling content. This post is not all about slides, so I'm going to stop there with best practices. Instead, let me provide a few cautions when it comes to using slides for a meeting. Avoid these 3 mistakes. Don't do these. Mistake number 1, and I see this all the time, too many slides. No one wants to sit through 30 slides for a 30-minute meeting. You are not a Walt Disney animator. Basic math. Take the total number of minutes available and divide by 3 or 2 to calculate the number of slides to include. 30-minute meeting, 10 to 15 at most. Common mistake number 2, too many words. Everyone can read faster than you can talk. Don't include too many words on your slides. No one wants to read a book, and never, ever, ever, ever read the slides to the participants. This ain't kindergarten and you're not the teacher. Mistake number 3, worthless slides. If you're ever in doubt about whether to include a slide or not, get rid of it. Slides that do not communicate the point are worthless. Participants will not complain if you go light on the number of slides. Another tactic to consider is keeping track of time as the call progresses. I highly recommend you do your best to start and finish your video calls on time. All the participants will appreciate it. Granted, some company cultures will dictate if you actually start meetings on time. Some organizations like the military, salute to all our veterans, are strict about being on time, while others are more casual. Adjust accordingly. Sometimes you may need to wait for important participants to join a call, especially if they're going from back to back to back meetings. This situation is not hard to manage. Simply let everyone know on the call, hey, we're going to start in a few minutes once others arrive. They'll get the point. You're saying in a nice way, I'm going to wait for my boss before we start because I like my job. Another best practice is to end your meetings on time or early if you're done with the agenda. I have yet to encounter a professional organization that believes meetings should run long. In fact, the opposite's true. Most participants will not hang around if your meeting goes past its scheduled finish time. No, no, no. They're going to drop from your call and move on to their next activity. I don't even consider it rude if someone drops from a call because it goes long. Avoid this scenario by being a better leader. End your call on time or even early if you're done with the agenda. I cannot recall any time in my career when someone complained because a meeting was shorter than scheduled or canceled because it wasn't needed. Fancy that. You can end early and cancel a meeting? Oh yeah, you can. I want to share one last bit of advice. Invest some time and energy up front before your video calls to get the results you're seeking. Simply put, the better you are at leading video calls, the better participation you'll see. If there's no clear purpose or agenda, participants will skip the session because they cannot tell if it's worth their time. Do your best to follow the agenda and stay on time. Otherwise, don't be surprised if people avoid your video calls because they are chaos. This fact is especially true for long meetings. First break, and a lot of people are going to pull the ripcord and go do something else because they don't like your meeting. You'll notice I included a few lbert cartoons in this blog post because, well, they're true. A depiction of what it is like to sit through useless meetings in the office. I'm Doug Keating, and this is All the Way Leadership, a company designed with one purpose in mind, and that is to help make you become a better leader. I hope you join me on this journey to raise up the next generation of leaders. The world is in desperate need of more great leaders, women and men who lead with confidence, clarity, and creativity. It's time to become the leader your world needs. Let's go all the